So, this was a story. Holy crap! I did not see this talked about anywhere. Left Voice, good catch. You know, they talked about these laws, these draconian laws that had been put out about running over protesters, and look, the left protests, and this was done so that right wingers could run over protesters and run through a crowd with impunity and just without consequence, essentially. So what happened? A protester in Washington. Now they were in an anti-homeless rally in Tacoma. So around 8 o'clock, run over by a speeding truck. Okay, protest. In attendance were many prominent local business leaders, Chamber of Commerce, and other concerned citizens. Right. So, yeah, the protest, organized by Tacoma Housing Now, was in response to the Tacoma Safe Rally being held in the LeMay's Car Museum.
Okay.
So they held discussions and speeches at this rally, and they wanted to. The attendees offered support for a controversial municipal ban on public camping, the euphemism for banning public homelessness, which has been enacted by many nearby cities. Right. Our friend Anna Kasparian's a big advocate of this, I believe.
Oh, God.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. They also proposed increasing funding for police which they claim has been overwhelmed with emergency calls and unable to respond to crime. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're unable to respond to crime.
Yeah.
They should not even be dealing with this.
A parade, but crime.
Their biggest concern, however, was the rise in property crime and theft, which various small businesses owners also testified to. So after the protester was run over, the police made no effort to track or locate the vigilante driver, despite several officers having just spoken about their enthusiasm for catching criminals.
Yep.
Okay, again, this is far from the first act of violence committed against protesters. In January of last year, 2 protesters were run over by a Tacoma police car, sparking riots.
Oh, yeah.
In Seattle, multiple protesters were killed, shot, and maimed during the 2020 protest, during that chop. The zone that they had where what a mess that was. Right, the problem of police murder, right? For example, the execution of Manuel Ellis is far from a local one. All right. Make no mistake, this rally, while under the guise of safety, was about the security and safety at the expense of others. No mention was made of the violence committed against our houseless neighbors or the dehumanizing sweeps in the lives they destroy. No realistic plan was drawn for moving the unhoused out of encampments, other than the vague humanitarian promises of expanded shelters. But in all cases, business owners are the priority, of course. Capital.
Yep.
An outstanding article.
Protect the money.
Yeah. Safety of this capitalist class and their quest for profit are not only incompatible with the safety of homeless, houseless, and working class people, but in fact require the deprivation of the latter's security. Therefore, we must demand that this assailant be brought to some form of justice. Again, there's cameras everywhere. You tell me they can't figure out who this was? All right, we demand justice for Manuel Ellis's killers, for all others maimed and murdered at the hands of police, both here and internationally. I think that's a bit of a tall ask.
Yeah.
Okay. We must also lend our support to Tacoma Housing Now and other groups across the nation in their efforts at the front lines to provide immediate and uncompromising housing solutions, such as the occupation of a motel in the port of Tacoma, which drew ire, threats, and harassment from the far right. And we must support their efforts to end the housing crisis where the capitalist class has clearly failed. And what they're talking about here is 43 unhoused people occupied the Port of Tacoma Travelodge over Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
It was probably a shuttered hotel. There's
So,
Rebecca Parsons. Oh, we like her.
yeah.
She's based. She's friend of the show. Friend of the channel. Awesome.
Cool.
Maybe we'll have a conversation with Rebecca about this. I'd love to learn a little bit more.
Idea.
This is fascinating.
That's a lot of cop cars.
Sure is.
For one thing.
More safe than I felt anywhere else. So they took over this hotel. Now, I don't know if it was shuttered or... alt-right extremists were present during the eviction. Yeah, great. You had Oath Keepers.
Back in my day, you could live in a van down by the river. You know? I mean, when did that stop being okay?
Yeah. Again, I didn't see anybody else talking about a protester getting run over in Tacoma. I didn't see anything about these 43 people taking over a Travelodge in Washington. That, you know, and I thought everyone should see that story. So that's another good one for How Do We Miss That?